Welcome back to another episode of the Casual Pros podcast. I'm Jeff Easterling here with Rukari Austin, hanging out at Rukari's house. That's what we do.
It's what we do nothing of ever since you moved to Seattle. At least now we have a reason to do it.
No, sometimes I feel like we saw each other more when I lived in Florida.
We're horrible
That's
people.
not true.
Horrible people with careers. Now that I don't have one, we see each other a lot.
Oh, you do have a career. It's a different career. You get to make it up. That's as you go along.
Definable. Sure. Yeah. Fun employment, if you will.
So we have been hanging out past few episodes. We've talked about all sorts of stuff. Our first, what was it, 3, I think, episodes? 4. Oh, my gosh. Really kind of dealt with our current careers in the gaming industry in some sort of indirect, amorphous way.
Yeah.
But now we're going to talk a little bit about each other to each other. Oh yeah.
Why you should care about
it's like
us.
a therapy session.
I figure we should have started with this. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why the hell should people listen
I don't know.
to this?
I think it's almost better now. Like, if they're still here, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Mind you, we haven't released one of these yet.
That's true.
We're trying to make sure we have.
Right now, we want some in the can.
Trying to make sure that we have a bunch in the bank. So we'll see. If you make it to this, great.
That's good. We'll do these and we'll release them, and then we'll know if we should spend time recording anything else. But this, I think is funny because it's a little reminiscent of, actually, we mentioned it in one of the other episodes when we hosted each other's Game with Fame.
Fame being an operative word there.
Real loose definition. But that was definitely focused more on gaming and career and gaming, like likes and dislikes and stuff like that. So I think this is a chance to talk a little bit more about just like person. Let's go way back. First of all, where are you born?
Seattle boy, born and raised.
So it's so funny too, because like I'm a Tampa native, and I'm always used to being like, yeah, I'm from Florida. I know it's weird, and more, that's the case with Seattle natives because so many people move
up here. Everybody comes to work at Microsoft, Google, or Amazon, and they go, "Oh, you're from where? Oh, you're actually from Seattle. That's so quaint."
Yeah, and then with Florida too, we get the transient, the tourism, and stuff like that too, or snowbirds, and so born in Seattle. And like did everything here. Went to where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school in Seattle as well. A little spot called Blanchette High School. Now it's Bishop Blanchette. Always a private school kid. Well, I went to public for a few years, and then in college I thought about exploring the world and going to play basketball other places. And then I was that gifted and talented athlete and student who didn't give two shits about finishing his schoolwork. So that collegiate career stopped. Not even after JUCO, during JUCO.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, I played a year of basketball, and I thought about going elsewhere. I looked at other schools, went to visit other places, and I've been here. Then Microsoft happened, and I just did not leave here because why would I leave?
So did you have a plan? A lot of people go into it and like they know from a really early age, I really want to do this thing. Did you think to yourself, was it athletics? Was it like, oh, I happen to be good at basketball, so I'll just do this now and then whatever comes along? And did that kind of deviate when all of a sudden the athletics and the academics didn't jive?
Now that I'm older, this is going to sound like I understand so much more through taking sociology classes and whatnot.
Yeah.
I am very much a product of my environment and also not. In no way, shape, or form did I grow up in any sense of hood or anything like the word. But it was Section 8, and we did have a lot of hood tendencies. Anyway, my point is there were no plans. The things that we had around us were built so that we were the at-risk youth.
Yeah.
The youth that didn't have a plan and could end up dead or in jail or going on to do all sorts of things. But yes, we were all athletes because that's what you did to pass the time. So my plan was no plan. My dad, I think he dropped out of middle school. He was also born in the Jim Crow South and was told at 16 or 17 to go to Vietnam or to go to jail. This is coming through Georgia. Yeah, so he ended up getting wounded in Vietnam, came to Washington. I want to say 18, 20 years later, out came me. Yeah, 20 years later, 20-something years later. But his approach was always give us better, but at the same time in a very, and I say we weren't hood, we had hood tendencies, a very hood way. Like, you're going to go do this. Nothing was laid out of how to do it, but it was just you're going to go get an education. And I was always ignorant, like, why? Like, what do I need an education for? But I'm smart. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I'll figure it out. And there was no
I've got what I
there
need.
was no path, and there was no one to look up to for that path. My brother is 12 years older than me, and he went to University of Washington, ran track for a year, walked on to the track team, ended up breaking his ankle shortly after. Had my first niece, Sophia, when he was 20 years old or 21 years old.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was sort of the example, but at the same time, I don't know, I was my own kid, and I was watching what was going on around me.
Especially
So,
with that
yeah.
kind of age difference, too. Like,
Yeah, so I wasn't
it's
thinking
not
in my
like
head.
same.
I was thinking college, but I didn't understand. I didn't even know how college worked. It wasn't like I was, you go do 4 years and you pick a degree and then you go into a field. No, you had to make money somehow, and working was that way. So that's all I knew, is that I was going to get out of school and work. What I was going to be doing, Lord knows. I still don't know. I still have no plan.
Your dad owned a barbecue restaurant.
He did.
Right?
How do we talk about my father, who was a very what's the best way to put this? He towed the line between legal and illegal in his life.
Yeah.
Through various capacities. And once he finally went straight, he opened a barbecue restaurant. I was in second grade, I believe, when that bad boy opened up. And we had that all the way until about, I was 20.
Yeah.
No, maybe a little later, maybe like 24, 25. Had it for a while. My clothes probably still smell like barbecue.
My dad literally asked me not too long ago, like, if that place was still open. Obviously, we knew that it wasn't necessarily in the family, but it's like, does it still exist? And I was like, I don't think so.
No,
I was
no.
like, oh, now I want to know.
And given that my dad was master of smoke and mirrors and hustling and whatnot, he always says that it shut down because of a dispute with City Light, which I actually think did happen. I think we saw the paperwork, which made it somewhat real. That wasn't his fault, but they closed his second establishment because of it, which then closed it permanently, and he couldn't recover from it, and yada, yada, yada. So, no, it's gone as of, I want to say, he died in 2016, so maybe 2011
Yeah.
it was gone. Yeah, so I was about 25.
And so, on your mom's side, though, totally different world. And like,
Straight and narrow.
in a lot of ways.
Actually, no, I can't say straight and narrow. My mom,
Yeah.
my mom, the older she gets, the more conservative she gets, and I guess that's true of most people.
I think it's a lot of folks.
But she had her wild years.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of fun because my mom is very, like, weed, which I don't smoke, but my mom's very, nope. And then she found out my sister smoked, and like, her world, what do I do? And I remember her being like, that's why your sister's messing up in school. And I was like, Mom, I messed up in school, and I never touched it.
That wasn't the reason.
But no, she's very, she's been in real estate now for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Maybe, Kati's 23, so 24, 25 years, right around there. And has kicked ass with it.
Yeah.
Like,
German.
yeah, it has done.
Very German. Yeah.
Oh, she's also very German. Yes, she's white. Very, very white. But no, she's got hood tendencies too. Like, she knew how to braid hair. She used to braid my hair. She can fry chicken. Like,
the key staples.
and I always laugh because my mom was 18 when my dad met her at 35, and I look at my grandparents like, what the hell were you thinking?
I don't even know if I've made that connection with the.
My mom was born in 64. My dad was born in 47. Yeah, so
Wow.
maybe 18 and 34 or something like that. It was right
crazy.
there, and I'm like, what in the world is going on?
Go, Dad.
Go to hell. What the hell? Oh my goodness. But yeah, I mean, two very different sides that, however in the world people meet. And
so siblings. How many siblings in total do you have?
yeah, that's up for debate. I definitely have, my older brother Dijon, who I referenced earlier, a little sister Katya, who's 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So we're kind of spread out in that way, which makes it fun and also interesting. Like, that's the life I know. There's no picket fence and Yen Louis photos on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, we all had different eras and different lifestyles and cycles.
It's kind of cool in a way, though, because you share a cross, but then you have your own identities that develop because of that, too.
And we're, like, different and the same.
Yeah.
We're, granted, my sister has a different dad. My brother has a different mom. So we're not all three related in that sense. But, like, my sister, it's fun to watch her now that she's in her early 20s because she's, like, developing a personality.
Yeah.
She was very
We
quiet,
just went to a
meek,
concert
timid,
with her.
Right? Yeah, you guys see her more than
My
I
wife
do.
sees your sister actually more than we see each other.
That's
lately.
true. That's true.
The showgoers.
So, You know, Katya's always been, I shouldn't say quiet and timid, but just she had her world. And if you weren't a part of it, you weren't a part of it. And now it's fun to watch her branch out because I'm Otis. I'm my dad. I'm loud. I'm brash. I'm like, I'm the person who will see a room full of people and is like, all right, let's jump on in. Where she's like, oh, room full of people. Okay, well, I will gladly accept them, but I will observe and take note. Yeah. So then on the other side, my brother, I love him to death, but I feel like my brother's just me, but a square, just goofier. He's super type A. Like if I'm spirit of the law, he's letter of the law.
Okay.
And he's a probation officer in North Carolina, which fucking fits him perfectly. Like, oh, what a snitch. But that's what he loves. I mean, and he's always loved law enforcement. He was actually a cop here in Seattle for a little bit. And,
okay.
Yeah, in Kirkland, which lets you know. And full on mustache too. So I'm like, oh yeah. But no, so he's out in North Carolina. He's got a beautiful family, a wife, 2 daughters. One just...
Is that who you just went and saw recently?
Yes. One is graduating high school this year, and she got accepted into multiple colleges. I don't know where she's going. Another graduated from University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, ended up in the Peace Corps for a couple of years. Now lives back here in Seattle, so it's kind of cool. Like, there's me with the kid, there's my brother with the family, and there's my little sister still figuring life out. Yeah. So, 3 different places and spaces.
What biggest difference between Rukari as a kid, let's say like high school and now? Like, what would you tell yourself? Would you... do you have any advice, or is it just...
No, because I wasn't going to listen.
Yeah.
My advice to myself is live. I mean, there's things that'll make it easier. Like if I could ever go back, I dropped out of high school because I hated Survey of British Literature. Not because I was incapable, but I did not want to read the Canterbury Tales in Old English and deal with Chaucer. So I got an incomplete on the final paper, which I could have done. And I was just like, when you're young, you're like, what's going to happen? Yeah. And they said, you're no longer going to this school because we maintain 100% graduation rate. I was like, okay. And I remember my dad
just said something.
Livid because my brother was studious. I was naturally gifted. Not to say my brother wasn't, but my brother was hey, I got to do this to make this happen. Whereas I was the one that he used to tell my brother, he's like, he just doesn't care about school. So that was me. So if I could go back and tell myself, hey, just do that, it makes life easier. But part of me thinks I needed to screw up and fail to understand that it's that easy to fail.
That's why sometimes I almost like that question is weird, because it's almost like, what are the biggest differences? Not even necessarily because I'm the same way. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I would go and tell myself as far as advice goes, but I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't change
different.
Anything.
So far, I don't think
I've me up here.
Yeah, I don't think I've done anything that's completely hindered me. Sure, when you're younger and you have no idea what credit is, you make mistakes, but you gotta learn it to realize, like how easy it is to screw up.
I want to seem super cliche and trite, but like sometimes it's those big mess ups and those valleys that are what prepare you for the other stuff and set you up for greater success.
And that's not to say that I'm in the perfect spot now. There's still things that I look back on and I was like, oh, I could have done that differently, but it's all about not making the same mistake twice. So I'm fine with the mistakes I made, the knuckleheaded shit I did as a kid, like whatever.
Is there any just big, like what's the apex kind of your current journey? Like, was there any point where something either happened or you turned an age and your life just took a turn? Like we talked a little bit about it in like the gaming career stuff. Like you went from selling, mattresses or shoes or whatever it happens to be to now doing what you're doing. Yeah. What was kind of the point?
I can never pinpoint those points.
Okay.
Because they just sort of happen, and they'll always say, I'll say lucky. Some people say luck favors the prepared, but I can't pinpoint exactly when each of those happened. Like I could always say the day I saw a tweet that said, hey, we're hiring at Microsoft. Yeah, for sure. But you still have to jump in the water and figure it out. And are you a good fit? And does it work out? Like there's so many things that bring me to where I am. I don't think of it as like a short drive. It's definitely been a road trip with so many different routes to take. I can't point to one as being like, this did the thing. I mean, even talking about like the birth of my kid wasn't anything that drastically changed anything. It just shifts focus.
Yeah.
But sounds so narcissistic, but I almost think I've always been on this same journey.
Yeah.
It's just what little details change in the otherwise. Like you could read the first page and the last page, and that's not going to change. But what's in the middle could change, but the end is still going to be there. And the beginning is still going to be there.
What's the biggest change that being a dad? I think, by the way, you're a fantastic dad. I always think, I look at the general circumstances, and like anything is good and bad, and you combine age and scenario and stuff like that. But I'm always super impressed at how much you pour into his life. What's the biggest difference between pre-parent Rukari and post?
This is gonna be scary, but honestly, nothing other than I have somebody to do the stupid shit that I do with. I swear, there's always somebody that's like, "Hey, do you want to go with?" No, we're going anyway. Come on, figure it out. Like, I don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
That's not to say I wasn't wild or doing dumb stuff, but by the time I had him, I was already working at Microsoft, and
he's about how old now?
He's turning 7 shortly here, February 20th.
Yeah.
But there was, you look at something like that as life altering as that, and you still just have to take it like a new job or a new car, and it's like, I don't really know how to drive this thing, but we're gonna figure it out as we go.
It's so funny too, because like those things are it's so different for everyone that there's sometimes advice, I guess, that you can give or give a next generation or something like that, but it's just no matter what. I'm
still learning.
Go through it.
Yeah. Like I always laugh because he's super good. Like super studious, super clean, super neat, super organized, super time. And I'm like, oh, this train is coming. like this shit's never late. Like this someday he's gonna snap. And everybody asks me about being a parent. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not I'm not good at this. I'm just playing the cards with which I was dealt.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. And I always hated too the people that, I'm so surprised you're such a good dad. Like, that shocked me. I'm like, what the fuck did you think I was going to do?
No,
I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. That's it.
And so much of it comes down to just what are your foundational priorities,
Yeah, that's really it.
Your baseline is you love him and you try to put him first, and then everything.
And I'm supposed to make him a model citizen. Yeah. Like, he's got to live in this society, too. So, hey, man, don't do that. That's weird. Stop looking at people like that. That's it. That's really all I'm doing. And along the way, I'm like, hey, you can figure this out for yourself.
Honestly, it's somebody you can actually tell that stuff to. Most people
and they
get mad.
Have to listen. Even though he chooses not to sometimes, but that's neither here nor there.
So, all right. So, let's talk about, like, some of the overall, almost like, kind of lightning round type stuff. What kind of food do you like?
With this belly,
kind of food don't you like?
Anything that's not vegan. Like,
I love eating vegans.
Since I'm a German, I love the meat and cheese.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I do love meat, cheese, bread.
Yeah.
No, I mean whatever. Like,
favorite food genre. So
depends on the day.
Yeah,
because some days it's Mexican, some days it's like a pizza and pasta.
Okay.
I'm really a moody eater because of the restaurant that we had. We actually lived in the barbecue restaurant. Like I said, we had hood tendencies, right? Yeah. I can't stand barbecue now. I will partake and eat it, but it's not my daily driver.
No, for sure.
But when I lived in there, I learned how to trade. So the thing that's messed me up most is I would take the restaurant or the restaurant food, the OK Corral food, and go to Taco Bell or call them. And I'd be like, hey, do you guys want to trade for some barbecue? I would call Taco Bell, McDonald's, Pizza. So I'm fucking fat because all I ate as a kid from 2nd grade on when we lived in there till 9th grade. Like, I kid you not, on one side it was the kitchen and the restaurant and the dining room area. On the other side, my dad and I shared a room that was probably about, 15 by 15. And it used to be a hair salon, so it had a little hair sink, and that's where we washed our ass. We had just a little sheet that was hung up in the middle of it. That was a partition. I slept on the couch or the floor or whatever on the other side. He actually had a bed. Anyway, we didn't have a kitchen that cooked home food.
Jeez.
So I would take that and like, what's up, teriyaki? Like,
business hours.
Yeah. So now when you talk to me about food, I'm like, whatever. I just eat out. Like, I'll eat whatever's around.
Sports teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about them? No, I'm Seattle born and raised.
So Seattle,
It's always Seattle stuff.
Any favorites or teams that you like that aren't Seattle?
No. I just don't follow them the same way. Like, I'm struggling with basketball right now because though I'm a fan of the game, it's just not the same following a team that I want to see win in the moment, but couldn't care less if they don't win. I enjoy sports. Like, we were just watching a game back here, and we're sitting here rooting on teams that we have no horse in this race, but sometimes
that's the nicest. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best way to watch a game.
So Yeah, as far as sports teams, if it's Seattle, that's who I'm rooting for. Mariners included somehow, some way, even though I don't really care for baseball, but they're the home team. They're the home team.
It's true.
Yeah.
Favorite sports to watch and or play, and are they different?
No, basketball is the same.
Okay.
Just because I understand so much of the game. I'm learning more and more of football, but
Yeah.
I don't know defenses or anything like that yet. Never really played. I played younger. I was always a center because I was the only one that knew how to long snap and actually snap a ball. So all they would let me do is play center. Fucking hated it. So 8th grade came and I was like, I'm done. I'm so done with this. Yeah, and then I ended up my size, my wingspan, my athletic ability, and I was like, oh, I might have been in the NFL. Like as a tight end with as big as I ended up being. And
edge rusher maybe. Yeah,
that too. God, I've heard that one.
The Simeon Rice.
Yeah,
wingspan.
but once they found out I had like a 38-inch vertical, and they're like, oh, you can jump and catch, and you're kind of big, like quick enough to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But anyway, so basketball's the one because I just understand the nuances. Like I'm the asshole that's in the arena that can see the play developing. I'm like, oh, here comes the lob, and then you hear everybody else go, oh, because it's coming. Like they're like a half step behind, and it's the funniest thing.
Yeah. I think we should do a sports episode at some point.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to happen.
Because this is we'll do the surface ones with each other. But yeah, we could easily do that the whole time. Music. What's your favorite kind of music?
It's eclectic, but the older I get. Chris Rock had a bit. I want to say it was in a stand-up, Never Scared, and he said, "Whatever music you start fucking to, is the music you're gonna love for the rest of your life." I shit you not. So I'm stuck in that genre, right? So no, I'm definitely top 40s. I don't explore like I used to. Like I was always hip hop, but then I'd have the random like I went on the 80s kicks, right? I loved Madonna Like a Prayer, like I loved Paul Abdul Straight Up.
Yeah.
Bobby Brown's old stuff, but top 40 is the easiest way to put it with some dabbling in hip hop and R&B. I will listen to other genres, but it's few and far between, and sometimes I don't know how to describe them unless I hear them in top 40. Like Linkin Park was a favorite band of mine.
Yeah, for sure.
And it kind of started because they were top 40, but then I explored them more. So I think the easiest way to put it is top 40.
Would you rather listen to them like on recorded?
I already know what you're going to say. I'm not going to no goddamn concert.
You
Fuck
don't
all
like
that.
going
What
shows.
the hell? I own it. I'm not paying to go see you up on a stage when I can listen to it. Where
man.
I just know I've gone to a few concerts, and there were a couple that I liked. I like the smaller shows, the intimate ones. I saw Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
First of all, she was like 3 hours late.
Yeah.
But in a crowd of a few hundred, that's way better than like I saw Lil Wayne.
For sure.
Like,
I'm not even a big fan of like stadium shows.
Oh God, I saw a few of those. I'm like, that's cool, but I don't care about that.
That's almost only cool to say that you were there, like unless you're still like way up front or something like that. That's
so
separate.
I will go catch. There's a little spot down here called Jazz Alley. Like if I can catch a small intimate show.
Yeah.
God, when we were in Mexico, when we did XO18, and we not snuck. We went out one night, me, Julia, and Jeff, and we ended up at like a speakeasy type thing.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And there was a band playing there, in the middle of Mexico City, and like we're this far away from them. Yeah. Like the sweat's hitting me as the drummer's going ham. I'm like, that's cool because
the craftsmanship.
That and we're just talking, like we can still chat and have our fun, and there's little breaks, and you get to interact with the musicians. That I love. Yeah. So if I can do that, sure.
You ever played any instruments?
Saxophone when I was younger. Okay. Yeah. But that was because we had to pick an instrument. I still know how to play My Heart Will Go
Why
On.
did you play? Why did you pick saxophone?
No idea. Okay. I could not tell you why. Huh. I just looked at it. I was like, that looks cool.
Well, it's true.
Wasn't going to be a flute. Wasn't going to be a clarinet. I think sax was the one. It was either going to be sax or drums. Yeah. And I don't know why I picked the sax, but I think I was in 4th grade, and I was like, saxophone. Kenny G. Let's blame him. I thought I could
really
be
should
Kenny
just
G.
blame Kenny G on everything. What do you like? You more homebody, more go out, more indoors, more outdoors?
So maybe that's what's changed in my life after having a kid, but I don't blame the kid for that. I can do either. Yeah. But it has to be an event now for me going out. Like now that there's like a family type thing situation at home where I'm like, why do I need to be out? Like out for me used to be like a social event where you're meeting new people and whatnot. Now it's like,
now to me, we do it once a year on your rooftop. Tax time. And then I'm done.
So I can still do that if it's planned. If it's like, yo, we're doing this on Friday the 15th. Yeah. Like, come out. I'm like, yep, it's me and the boys. Like, we're doing it. We'll go hard and have our fun. But if it's like 8 p.m. and I get the phone call like, hey, what are you up to? Shit, about to go to sleep. So I can do either. My favorite thing to do is to get bored at home, so then I go out, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like with all the travel and stuff that I've done for work and for my own personal fun and whatnot, my favorite thing is to have a weekend with nothing and to go, I'm going to do nothing till the point that I want to do something.
Yes. You've exhausted the nothingness.
Yeah. And it usually only takes me a day or two.
Yeah.
But I just need to do that straight through. Like if I constantly have stuff, I'm just like, ugh. Like even a haircut, I had a little lineup today. I'm like, I got to go all the way up there and do all this.
No, that makes
so like tomorrow,
I totally understand.
Tomorrow I've got nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for nothing. And I guess 6 p.m. I'm like, well, what should I go do? Yeah.
That'll determine how much of a mood you're in.
Exactly.
What would be your superpower? Like if you could pick, especially among the classics.
I don't know. Flying, is that the easiest one?
Okay, flying.
Like I don't necessarily care about strength, not speed. Flying just seems like it would be the most fun to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I could get to wherever I needed to go.
Not a weird one, dude. Do you have like any weird superpower, like just like super off the beaten path?
Nope.
Like, have your hair grow at will or something?
It does. All my friends are bald, and I'm out here like about to get little micro dreads, like suckers. No, I always hate that question because I'm like, I don't know what I would do. Like I don't know. Nobody ever picks their power. They're always thrust into.
It's true. Cosmic radiation, man. It'll get you. What kind of like movies, entertainment, and stuff like that? Do you have any
thrillers?
Favorite movies? Okay. What's your favorite movie, or like a top 3 in no particular order? If
like Usual Suspects.
Okay.
That's a great one. Good little twist at the end, makes you think.
So
some cerebral. But then at the same time, I loved all the Marvel movies. I'm usually the type of person that will enjoy a story for its story. Mm-hmm. It does not have to be great. It's rare that I'm like, this is stupid. Yeah. Usually my stupid's like, this is dumb. And I'm laughing. I'm like, but it's cool because it's dumb. But Knives Out. Did you see that one yet?
No, I have not. I keep hearing it.
That one was damn good. Just stuff like that. Like the action stuff is easy and it's great. And the Disney stuff is easy and it's great. But yeah, something that makes you think and is like witty. Oh yeah, I love it.
What's the best place or your favorite place you've traveled?
Oh shit. There's lots of different places for different reasons. Like Germany was cool because of the German side of my family, and being able to speak it enough to get by.
Absolutely,
it's not well. I don't put it together well, but enough to have the cab driver be like, "Oh shit, like you speak German."
Yeah,
like you knew what I was saying.
That's awesome.
Africa was another one, just because it's fucking Africa, man. I went to South Africa and like saw the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, and I went up Tabletop Mountain and all that stuff, and to see like Africans in Africa, like just shit like that.
It's a real place.
Yeah, like dude, it was crazy to think, like to look at a globe and be like, I was there and here, and and London's another fun one. I love London, but different places for different reasons.
Yeah, well,
like I even love Texas. Like
like even.
I love Austin, Texas, but that's random. Like you can't say that when you've been to these other spots, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, but
makes sense.
There's a ton. If I had to pick one that I haven't been to yet, even though it's on fire, that would be Australia. So Lord forbid.
Yeah, can we put that out?
So So
awesome. Well, I think that's about the time that we have. We have these.
But I have to interview you.
I know. We'll do that on next episode.
Oh, can we do it soon, please?
Yeah.
Okay, just like right after this.
5 minutes.
All right, that sounds great. All right.
All right. So that is this episode. It's number, I think, 5, and it's not. We'll make it 5 because we haven't published this yet. I'm Jeff. This is Rukari. This has been Casual Pros, and we'll see you not in 5 minutes. Probably see you next week. Later.